Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever is appropriate for wherever you are. And it doesn't matter where I am, because I'm here. Now, I'm doing a little work on the lighting. I'm not sure. I've got a plan. It's going to take a little bit more effort, some tools, thinking, working. We'll have that ready by the Monday episode. But this is a weekend show, a little bit more relaxed, a little more casual. I hope my microphone's working. One of the things I changed the lighting now, I can't read my show notes. I need to thoroughly. My eyes aren't getting old, my eyes are getting experienced. We've got our show notes here, as always, to keep you up to date, and we probably should, and I'll put a link to that so you can follow along. But we've got a good show. Just to briefly give you a recap, after our last episode a couple days ago about coffee, how to make coffee, I've run out of coffee, and my Shopee shipment of coffee has been delayed. Surprise, surprise. It's coming from Manila to Cebu, which is about, if there was a road, it'd be about a 4 or 5 hour drive, like LA to San Francisco. But if you are going to drive there, it takes like 4 days because there's a bunch of ferries. And it's coming on a boat. According to the tracking on Shopee, which we show here on the map, it was in Cebu a couple days ago, and then it appeared in Palawan, which is the farthest westward island here in the Philippines archipelago. And I think, the nicest island in the Philippines. A whole different vibe. It's very far off, almost near the China Sea. I think probably eventually, if allowed, the Chinese will claim that is Chinese territory because, well, it's within 1,000 miles of their shore. But a very nice island, beautiful. El Nido, a couple of nice beaches. One of what was considered to be the best beach in the world, or one of the best beaches. It's hard to always say what's best, but it was very nice. Very nice there. Nicest beaches I've seen in the Philippines. So that Shopee tracking, really don't know where it is. I thought it was a scanner error that made it appear in Palawan, but now it's, as you can see, there's a truck halfway back to Manila. And really not quite sure how that works. But and then in the news, the trans gun ban proposal, not allowing trans people to buy guns because they're always shooting up schools or something. Or not always, but sometimes. And that's going to be a fun one because the gun people, or the gun nuts, the ones that want to ban all kinds of guns, they kind of don't want to ban trans people. So it's like, oh, you can take guns away from white men that drink beer in a pickup truck, but trans people, they should be able to get an AR. We might even have a program where the government gives them an AR and some extra capacity magazines, just so they feel more inclusive. But now the NRA did come out against that trans ban, and they just said, we don't really give a fuck who wants a gun, anyone should be able to buy them, which I like that idea. That's just much better to err on the side of freedom. If someone wants a gun, if they've had a history of mental illness, that's a stigma. We don't want to hold that against them. You should give them a gun. And if they're unstable, then I think those are the people that really need a larger magazine, more capacity. If they're not stable, they're not going to be able to land shots. They might need 50 or 60 round magazine, where I can get by with a legal limit of a 9 round magazine. But someone that's unstable, they might need 50 rounds in there to be able to land some. So it's all about it's inclusionary. The whole society, everyone just kind of being nice. And I did have lunch today. Met some friends, or we call them expats. Expat, that's what foreigners in the Philippines are referred to as expats. I think that's some sort of it's like neem or meme. I'm not sure what it means, but expat I think it means someone that couldn't get laid in their own country and had to come to the Philippines. I'm not sure if anybody knows what expat means. Leave a comment. That's just what I've always assumed. I might be wrong. I think it's probably happened once or twice before. I don't recall. But if anyone knows what expat means, but it's usually referred to as foreigners that are here in the Philippines enjoying life as a guest of the country. And I always like to mention many times, I try to be on good behavior at all times. I'm a guest here. They don't need me here. They don't need to let me stay here. So, always try to be helpful, be a good behavior, and try to be a good example. An example for the world. We do need some good examples in the world for what America is all about. And I try to just, I wear that on my shirt sleeve, so that people will say, "Oh, that's a fine example of an American." They're welcome here. And when things do go south and someone starts yelling at me, "You goddamn American, go back home," I'm like, "Hey, I'm not American, I'm Canadian. I'm not one of those asshole Americans. I'm Canadian, goddammit. Okay. So, lunch at La Lucha's. And La Lucha's, this is owned by a Mexican. He's a Mexican-American, as we call them, from California. Julio. He travels back and forth. He's got a Filipino wife, I believe. And so this is just to show, he's a restaurant owner, businessman, internationalist. Show Donald Trump that not all the Mexicans are murderers and rapists. This guy owns a legitimate business. They make a fairly good taco for the Philippines. I mean, if I bought this in Mexico, I'd be a little disappointed. Not the best taco ever, but it's the best taco I've had in the Philippines. And good menu, but I guess that's true. Maybe just because he's a restaurant owner doesn't mean he's not a rapist and a murderer. You can be two things at one time. So here we go. Perfect example of some high-powered person in the media going after Donald Trump. It always blows up in their face, comes back to get him. The guy is unstoppable. Trump, Trump, Trump everywhere. So now I don't know that he's a murderer or a rapist, but then on the other hand, I don't know he's not. Better, as always, better to err on the side of caution. Okay. And now we do have, because it's the weekend, casual time, this is when we do our TV show of the week. I promised. Excuse me. Frog in the throat. Gotta change the water in the bong. Okay, TV show of the week. And our song of the day, and you know what? First time ever on the history of the show, same artist, same actor. TV show of the week is really one of my favorite. This is an old one, not a real big popular one, hard to even find reruns, but Martin Mull, Fernwood Tonight. I thought a hilarious show and very informative. It was talk show based. It was basically similar to the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, a legendary show. Everyone knows Johnny Carson. Haven't made a TV host like that. And it played it was on after the Tonight Show. I'd watch that with my brother. And the Tonight Show with Martin Mull. His stage name was Barth Gimbel. And his version of Ed McMahon was Jerry Hubbard, who was the cousin of the station owner. That's how he was able to get a job. Hilarious show. And we'll link one of their famous episodes. This is Talk with a Jew. And the show is based in Ohio. Apparently not a lot of Jewish people there. This is really where I learned to appreciate my Jewish heritage and understand our community. Based on this show, that was a start. Of course, found more information later. But so we'll link that, and then he was also a singer, entertainer. Had an album, a couple albums. Like when there was the albums, they'll spin around the turntable with a needle on it. I think we've got a link to that. And the song is, and this would by today's standard, people would be all, oh yeah, set up. But the song was "The Blacks Are Giving Me the Blues," and it was really. Today it would probably be, I don't even know if YouTube will allow it to be played, but it would probably be, oh, it's a hateful racist. But it was a song appreciating the heritage, the African American heritage in blues music, that's where rock and roll started. It wasn't made by a bunch of white guys dancing around like Milli Nilly or Willie Manilli or Justin Bieber. It was like old black music from Chicago, New Orleans, the blues, and entertaining. And I don't get the whole cover. I guess there must be a song about fruit salad. There was a singer, calypso singer, that did a fruit salad song. I don't remember. I'll have look that up and follow up on next week's episode. Okay, so that's our TV show of the week, and worth a watch. Hard to find on YouTube. I mean, I believe that was actually the first thing I looked up on YouTube, was to try to find that show, because I couldn't find it on the internet. And you can see a lot of the episodes are on YouTube. I've even seen episodes where people recorded it with a video recorder, like the old Betamax VHS tape camera in front of the TV, and then digitalized that or whatever, and then or took they had, I don't know, it looks like it's a video camera in front of a TV, and then they uploaded that on YouTube later to share that with the world, because we don't want to lose these archives. These are records. It's like the original Little Rascals shows. You don't want to lose that film. That's a link to our heritage. Okay, well, I meant to start the day off here because it is the weekend. Like to relax. See if this will show up. Burning something. Nothing new there. But this is sage. This is the blue sage. Are we showing that here? This is something the Native Americans used. It reminds me of something else. This is relaxing. It cleanses the air. Removes evil spirits. Can we see that just smoldering away in there? Yeah. And of course, it's a cooking show. I mean, we're not going to eat this, but we're cooking it. It's just nice. It's a very nice light aroma. Not that heavy perfume like the commercial chemical sprays you buy. But very nice, refreshing. It's supposed to cleanse, chase away any evil spirits. Not that there's going to be any here. But just and I've cooking show. Although I've got to say that most of my cooking has been done with a Bic lighter and a spoon. But I like to get there in the kitchen, cook out something, because we got to eat something. And little house. Oh yeah, and back. I've got my phone here. I'm going to have a note on my phone, which I'm not sure if I can do this. If I can look at a laptop with the camera teetering on it. Oh, you can see the refreshing smoke. That's a high quality camera. And did we lose that? I don't know here. It's a comment. I'm random. I can't read and reply to all the comments that we get, but I do like to pull one out every now and then, and just appreciate it. This is from Smoking Ghosts, apparently a longtime viewer. It would be interesting if you made a video talking about the differences you have encountered living in the Philippines compared to the States. Could add some footage from around town. Might be an interesting concept. Okay, so that sounds like maybe I can walk around town with a video camera and comment on what I see, and maybe compare some of that to what it's like in the United States. That's a great concept. We're going to do that. And I actually ordered. I just bought one. I just bought a little selfie stick, which I've never owned. I forgot to take it out, but it allows me to hold the camera and walk around. I'm always a little uncomfortable just walking around. Here, let me take a picture of you. Although Filipinos, if they see a camera, they're going to get in front of it. And there was a new law passed recently where you can't publish pictures of people on the internet without their permission, no matter where they are. So you're supposed to blur the faces, especially children, which, yeah, that makes some sense. But when they're running up into the camera, I think that's kind of like a consent. But I don't want to be the one that goes to finds out exactly how serious they are about that. So we're going to try to keep people, especially children, out of the footage. And, in the United States, it's different. And I'm not here in the United States. I know that I'm here in the Philippines. And the law in the U.S. is if somebody can see you, if you're in public property, they can take your picture and more or less do whatever they want other than slander. But here it's different, or it probably is not different. I mean, I think their law is the same. It's just no one bothered to look. Some politician came out there because of whatever instance, say, okay, no more videotaping anyone in the Philippines. And then they'll wait to see how that works. But I don't want to be the guy that goes to the Supreme Court for 25 years to find out, yeah, this is not legal. He can do that if he wants. And no harm, no foul. So I'll comply, as always. I comply with all the rules, regulations, laws, here or anywhere I am, just as a matter of policy. I'm a real stickler for following the rules. But we do appreciate that viewer comment and the comments and the viewer mail. The post office now is closed. I have a letter from Social Security that they send once a year to make sure that you're alive. It's called proof of life, or at least it's referred to as a proof of life. And so I filled that out diligently, following the rules. And I went to the post office here, which is PhilPost, a highly efficient organization, very much like the U.S. Post Office, but really ramped up. And they had a little sign where you can see right here, that no mail to the U.S. because of, the sign I don't think says, I can't see the sign from here, it's in memory, which I think we discussed that yesterday. The memory is, I can't even remember where it went. But this, I think, responds to the tariffs, which there really aren't tariffs in the Philippines, but they're not sending mail to the U.S. because of tariffs, even though there's not a tariff on the mail. And there's really not a whole lot you can send from the Philippines to the U.S. It's mostly people sending stuff from the U.S. to here. But, of course, hey, I'll comply. And I did have a friend who was actually going to the U.S. next week, and he brought my letter with him, and he'll drop it in the mailbox there. And he brought a couple other people's mail. This has been the big talk, the proof of life. And this is so that somebody, your spouse or whatever, can't just keep collecting Social Security after you're dead. And so this letter, I need to sign it and date it. And so that's absolute security. Nobody would be able to forge my signature if I was dead and sign that and just keep the money coming. Maybe they could do it it can't be done through email, it can't be faxed, it's got to be mailed. You couldn't just call them up, say something, they could confirm it's your voice from previous calls or whatever. That would be too much work for Social Security. They just said, just send the letter in. We'll stack it up in a room for months and months and eventually look at it and maybe lose it or whatever. So, of course. I should just be thankful that they've given me anything. It's not like it's my money. Or wait a minute. It is kind of like it's my money. But, but if they throw me some crumbs once a month, I should just be grateful. All right, well, that's going to wrap up the show. I'm going to enjoy my evil spirit-free, relaxing sage. And maybe the technology at some point in time is going to come up with smell-o-vision. I recall smell-o-vision as a thought back in the 70s or 80s. You'd be able to smell my sage smoldering and also relax and be evil spirit free. But that's going to wrap it up. We will come back tomorrow with the second day of our weekend update. And remember, I think I've got the link, or we're going to try to put that link into the Fernwood Tonight Show. Worth a view. Any episode's good, but especially the more informative issues. Talk to a Jew. And also there is another issue on electric cars that I believe it's Virgil Sims. He was a reoccurring guest there locally in Fernwood, Ohio. That's why the show is called Fernwood Tonight. It's based in Fernwood, Ohio. And the studio audience is always very interactive, but Virgil Sims built an electric car. This is like 1975, 1978, very early electric car. It shows you just how cutting edge some of this stuff is. A small show from Ohio, but they had an electric car. Who would think? Now they're still talking about electric cars, and oddly enough, still having problems with the batteries. But speaking of smoldering, all right, thank you very much for watching, and I really appreciate the viewer comments. Keep those coming, and if you've got any ideas, recommendations, or thoughts that you'd like to see in a show, I'm very open-minded. This is not my show. This is your show. I do it for you. If you want something done, and tasteful, legal, and not a lot of editing or that kind of work, I'll certainly consider it. Thank you very much.